Hi there, Sandra Parker here from Just a Tonic Coaching. Today I want to talk about something that keeps a lot of us stuck when we examine our drinking, and that is all the different ways we can pretend to ourselves it's not a problem. So I want to share some of that I used to do. From when I was about 15 till my mid 40s, I was drinking alcohol. And so that's 30 years. And I would binge drink and I would feel horrible the next day. And I would promise myself never again. And then I would tell myself it wasn't that bad. And the reason why I stayed stuck in that cycle for so long was because the thought of not drinking was terrifying. It's a bit like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. So you know that alcohol's doing damage, but you desperately try to pretend it's not because the thought of not drinking feels even worse. I remember thinking, what's the point of going on holiday if you don't drink? What's the point of a bank holiday? What's the point of going out for dinner? What's the point of the weekend? Pretty much what's the point of anything without alcohol? And so the different ways that we can tell ourselves it's not a problem, I just want to share so that might help you if you're feeling a bit conflicted or a bit stuck. So I've spoken to thousands and thousands of people over the last 5 years about their challenges with alcohol. And often there's so many ways we try and soften it, right, and pretend it's not a problem. So we might say to ourselves, well, yes, I'm drinking a bottle of wine every night, but so is my partner, so are all my work colleagues, or I don't drink a full bottle, I leave some, or I don't drink every night, or I don't start drinking till 6, or I don't drink spirits. I used to have an old manager that described spirits as top shelf liquor, right? So I don't drink top shelf liquor. I only drink good quality wine, right? Has anyone ever said that? Like how we feel ourselves. I used to go wine tasting and I pretended that because I was into wine, it was about tasting the different wines. But here's the truth. It was about the buzz. And if a wine that I didn't like wasn't around, I would drink another wine, right? It wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to have anything if I can't have my favorite full-bodied Chardonnay, right? So we pretend that it's okay because it's organic or it's expensive because we don't drink during the day because we're not pouring vodka in our cornflakes, right? Because we're not falling over drunk, because we've not been arrested for drink driving, because we've not lost a job or lost our teeth. And we do all these things to say it's not that bad, right? But the thing is, why wait until you hit rock bottom, right? So if you listen to this and you're in a conflict and there's part of you that thinks that you are drinking too much and there's another part of you that's trying to tell yourself you're not, right? I think when you're there's a part of you that knows it's a problem. I certainly did. And when I speak to a lot of my clients, they did as well. So when we're trying to convince ourselves that it's not that bad, that's a sign that there is an issue, right? And it doesn't matter if there's people around you that are drinking more. Here's something I think is really helpful about that. Let's compare it to being overweight, right? There's much more people that are overweight now than there used to be. And, I do not judge anybody. Zero judgment for me. Like I struggled with alcohol for a long time. So if somebody's struggling with food, I am very empathetic. But if we look at how that changes how we can soften it, right? If we see a lot of people that are overweight, we can start to tell ourselves that it's normal. And if normal means a lot of people are in that place, then it might be normal. But if we're just being very honest, what that means is more people are diabetic, right? More people have weight related health issues. So there might be more people that are overweight, but it doesn't mean being overweight is any less of an issue. And it's the same with alcohol. There might be a lot of people that are having a bottle of wine, a lot more people than used to, but that doesn't mean it's less of a problem. That just means more people have the same problem. That means that more people are having serious health issues because of alcohol. And I think it's important that we call that out because when you watch the marketing and it makes it look glamorous, right? So you see somebody having a drink and it's all a good laugh. You don't see the aftermath, right? So when you go out and you drink alcohol and you start off with your first drink, and maybe it's like, you're excited about it, you finished work and you're like, you've gone to a nice bar or restaurant, or maybe you're just opened a bottle of wine at home, whatever it is. The first drink, you think, oh, this is great, this is amazing. And then that will lead to more. But the next day, we blame ourselves. We don't blame the alcohol. So anything good that happened, anything fun, we say, oh, that was amazing. But next time I need more self-control. And that's not helpful, because it wasn't that you weren't exercising self-control. It's a highly addictive substance. You wouldn't give somebody cocaine and say, take this responsibly. But we try to do that with alcohol. So I think being honest with yourself, and if I could go back to my younger self, I would have said to her, the fact that you're battling means there's a problem. The fact that you're in denial means that there's a problem. Now, the other thing I wish I'd known then was that there is actually a way to get control that makes you feel better. So I often say to people when I have their first call with them, like, how big a priority is it for you to get control over alcohol? And people will have all sorts of really, really valid reasons for wanting to change. But when you ask them that question, you can see the fear of life without alcohol, and people might say 6 out of 10, right? And the reason why they don't say 10 is because they're afraid, right? But if they knew that there was a way to get control over alcohol where they would enjoy their life more, I think pretty much everyone would be a 10, right? So I'm sharing that with you to say that if you think there's a problem, there probably is. If you're telling yourself it's not that bad because lots of people are drinking more, you have to be careful, right? The health guidelines haven't gone up because more people are doing it. The health sector is just telling us more people are going to have a problem. In the same way, more people have a problem with, unfortunately, with overeating. And so we need to make sure that we're not trying to pretend to ourselves or to soften it. And the reason why we're probably trying to soften it is because we're scared, right? But if you know that there's a way to get control and you will feel better, then there's nothing really to be scared about. Yes, you probably will need some guidance, right? Most people do. But how much better to get some guidance and then get to the point where you don't need it and you can enjoy your life than to be fighting hangovers, having that regret, that anxiety, wasting thousands of dollars or pounds, whatever your currency is, wasting all that time. I mean, honestly, if I could go back and get some of that time back, we obviously can't, but if I could go back to my younger self, it would be like, take action now. So if this resonates, I share videos most days, and please subscribe to my channel and let me know how you're doing. Thanks.